In this video, we will have a look at how to set up your simple art studio and the things that you need to set it up. Hey friends, welcome back to this channel. If you're new here, my name is Geetu. I'm an aerospace engineer and a watercolor artist based out of the UK. And on this channel, we explore watercolors, art productivity, social media art accounts, and anything and everything related to creative practice. You can find me everywhere as Colorful Mystique, especially in Instagram, where I post all of my paintings and snippets of my process videos. When we think of setting up our own art space, we think of having a fancy big room and a huge space. But many of us probably can't afford to have such a huge space in our house. And for this reason, I am going to show you how to set up a little art corner, which is exactly how I started out my journey. The only thing you would probably need is a table where you can set up your work art desk. This can even be your work from home setup or any desk that you have in your house. If you have a productive desk setup, then it is going to be really helpful for you in your daily work mode, especially if you're working from home and also in your creative mode. Here is an empty table, which I am now going to set it up and show you how you can help to boost up your creativity as well as elevate your mood to paint. Obviously, these are just suggestions from my side and you would have to find your own niche and your style of decorating these. You can look up for ideas of inspiration from Pinterest.com. So just head over to Pinterest, search for art corner, studio decoration, studio decor, art decor, table, home setup, work setup, anything that comes to your mind, and you get a lot of pictures. So just go through all of them, which will give you a lot of ideas as to how you can, set up your little crazy art corner. It is better to have a table that is either white or a wooden finish like this one, so that it is easier when you're trying to take photos or videos of your paintings or your art. My actual studio table is white, and this is just another table in our guest bedroom, which I'm now going to transform into a crazy little art corner. If you don't have a table that is not clear enough or is not white or a wooden finish, you can actually get these massive wallpapers from Amazon or similar sites, which you can then stick on your table, and that just becomes the surface. You can get them in various designs, such as have a wooden finish or a concrete finish. There's just a lot of designs that you can look at. I had been using a white table for so long, so recently I just got a marble finish wallpaper for my studio, just to have some change on my table. These wallpapers are basically massive and sticks onto the entire table, so it's very easy to take photos and videos on it. So you can use that backdrop. If you think that you do not like the surface of your table, you can just get that one from Amazon or whatever sites that you find them. And then comes the arrangement. As worthwhile it is to have some drawers on your table, but I prefer to have all of my art supplies, arranged on the table so that it is right there for me to dive in when I'm ready to paint. Plus, if you're just starting out, you may not have a lot of art supplies, so you can actually store them on your table. And if you have some extra things that you want to store, obviously you can use these drawers or whatever racks or shelves. But for me, I'm just now going to show you with minimal art supplies and how we can make this little corner here as cute as possible. You can actually stack your sketchbooks or watercolor pads or whatever papers that you're using on one of the corners of your table, or you can use a file organizer to stack them, or you can actually make your own file organizer. There are tons of YouTube videos that describe how to make one. Now, most of us have watercolors that come in a set like this one, which is from Art Philosophy. So if you have sets like these, maybe you can stack them in the corner of the table as well. But if you're like me, who is a person who likes to buy individual paint tubes like these, I love using individual paint tubes because I try to find the shades that I want and I get that myself. So if you like that, then you can have them stored in a small basket like this. Anything that you can find in your house, it just doesn't have to be a basket like this. You can even use a cardboard box or a carton or whatever you can find. And that is something that you can use. For example, here is what I use to store my White Nights watercolor tubes. So you can see this is a coffee tin which we just recently finished. So you can see it says Kenko, and I found this as a perfect one. I didn't want to throw it away, so this is what I use to store all my White Nights paint. See, it's a perfect one to store all my tubes, and I love this. I'm waiting for the next coffee can to finish so that I can use it for my next set of paints. But yeah, so this is just that. This is another thing that you can keep on your table. And as for your brushes, you can find a cute mug or a glass like this one to store all of your brushes. Just make sure that all of your brushes, the hairs are pointing upwards, and don't put them in the other way around in a glass, because that would just spoil all your brushes. So this is something else that you can use and have it on the table. Then I also have 2 jars of water for my watercolor painting, one for taking out clear water for my washes and the other to wash off my brushes. So I usually have them on my table as well. But just make sure don't keep your water on your table when you're not painting, because that would create molds in the water. Now, as we're done setting up the major art supplies that go onto our table, if you're a watercolor artist, of course, then now let us think about, decorating the space. So I have this artificial plant thing that I got off Amazon. So it's something that I usually have on my table because it helps to when I'm taking videos and photos as well. So in my photos, if you look in Instagram, you'll find all of these photos having little corner somewhere this green plant. So that's what I use. And just make sure to have them, arrange it on the table such that it looks cute enough and right in front of that. So when you're painting, that's what usually I do when I'm painting. I have my paper on the table right next to it. Then I have this little artificial plant showing off in my video. I kind of like that. It's mainly because I like to have some greenery around my table. It just motivates me, but I have proved myself to be not a person who can take care of plants. So that's why I get artificial plants now. So if you're a person who can actually take care of plants, then you can have real plants as well. Next, I usually love to decorate the wall next to my table, maybe with some swatch cards or of my own paintings. So if you're just starting out, I know you may not have a lot of paintings to put there, then go for swatch cards. So swatch cards is basically swatching all of your colors and in a neat manner probably, so that when you stick it out there, it's right there in front of you, you know what color comes out of the tube. Or you can even have a color chart that goes right in front of you when you start painting. So I have some of my paintings here which I'm gonna stick to my wall. So if you're living in a rented space and you're worried of damaging your walls by sticking paintings or whatever onto the wall, then I have this solution for you. So this is basically a double-sided tape, which is clear double-sided tape I got from Amazon. And it's really amazing because it comes off like a rubber and doesn't ruin the walls, doesn't take off the paints, doesn't damage your paintings. All perfect. So you can see the double-sided tape is really clear and very much like a rubber. You can see it comes off like a rubber. And you don't need much of it because it's got really nice glue on it. But don't worry, it doesn't really damage the walls. That's how I have stuck all of my paintings in my studio. Okay, so I've just put the double-sided tape onto some of my paintings, and I'm gonna stick it to the wall right in front of this table. Just, so whenever I come in to paint and I see these beauties, it would just motivate me some more. So here is the swatch card that I was talking about. So you can make swatches like this. I've made it in small circles. This is the swatch card for my cellular set of paints. So if you have something like this, I know you don't have to have a large piece of sheet, just in a small sheet, swatch out the paints that you have so that it's always helpful. So I've written down the names of the watercolor tubes that I have as well. And this now, I am gonna stick it to the right side here so that it's always there next to my table, right where I can see the colors. And I actually forgot to mention about my stationeries, so just like my ruler, my pencil, my scissors, all of this, I store them in a small plastic storage like this. So just like I said, try to find a mug or a glass or something of this sort where you can store all of your little supplies. I even have my little tiny water bottle spray in there, so this is where I store it, and that can go along with your brushes on the side. So there's the 2 jars by the side. Additionally, if you can get hold of some string lights like this, it is very beautiful if you can, you know, stick them around your paintings. Use the same double-sided tape to stick it around so that, you know, at night it looks kind of beautiful when you turn on these lights. So I'm not gonna do them right now, but you can use that if you have, because this is actually the string lights that I use in my studio and I just took it out just to show you guys. So here is my little art corner ready and my supplies here right for me to start painting. So I used to have a small table like this in my living room for almost 2 years before I actually got a studio when we moved into this house. I even shot 6 of my first Skillshare classes on just a table like this in my living room. It is better to have your table facing right next to the sunlight or sitting right next to a window. Like I have a window here, so there's enough light on my table during the daytime. And if you can't afford to have your table right next to the window, then maybe you can use a light so that it'll light up your table when you want to start painting. So here I have this small table lamp which fits right into this little corner here and would give light onto my table. You know, there is so much joy in setting up your little crazy art corner, so I just set it up for this video, and having seen all these paintings and the paper and paints right ready in front of me, I am so motivated to paint right now. I hope that this video gives you more inspiration and decorative ideas to set up your own art space in your house. If you do like this video and end up decorating your space or even rearranging your existing space, then don't forget to take a photograph and post it to your Instagram stories and tag me. I'm Colorful Mystique in Instagram. Also, if you like this video, don't forget to click the like and subscribe to my channel if you would like to see more videos from me. So until I see you next time, bye bye!